Right now, there is an invisible force trying to talk to you. This did not happen by chance. You're watching this video right now. The soul in the higher dimensions has moved heaven and earth to bring this revelation to you before an emotional catastrophe strikes your life. Do you feel goosebumps? Does your heart beat faster for no reason? This is spiritual recognition. Someone you loved very much, whom you still hug and hear the voice of, even when you are alone, could not remain silent when they saw what was going to happen. They asked for one thing, with pleas that crossed all dimensional veils, and with prayers that reached directly to the heart of the Creator, that you be warned before it is too late, because your life is about to become turbulent. You cannot see it yet, but the storm is already brewing. In the coming days, you will have to make important decisions. There is a person who holds a special place in your trust. That person holds secrets that, if revealed, will completely change the way you see everything. This is not a common message that can wait until tomorrow. This is a divine intervention that is happening right now. Archangel Michael, who holds the fiery sword of truth, has been chosen to ensure that this communication is not interrupted. His presence is creating a protective barrier around this moment. This ensures that nothing, not distractions, interruptions, or opposing forces, will prevent you from receiving the information you need. Have you been sensing something strange lately? Do you feel that something is wrong and that people are not being completely honest with you? Do you know when you look at someone and feel that their gaze lingers longer than usual? Do people stop talking when you approach them? Your alarm system is working perfectly. Do not ignore these signs. The person I'm talking about may be someone you would never suspect. Maybe it's someone who always helps you, says nice things to you, and seems genuinely concerned about you. But behind that facade, there is envy growing silently. They don't like to see that you were able to get back up after you fall. For months, or even years, someone has been gathering information about you, your concerns, fears, weaknesses, and emotional sensitivities. Like a mental file that is updated with every intimate conversation you have, now they want to use that knowledge to hit you exactly where they know it will hurt the most. But they don't know that heaven is watching. That dear soul who interceded for you has achieved something extraordinary. They have activated a supernatural protection around you. Angels are watching that person's every move. A record is being made of every word that is spoken with malicious intent. Any evil plan is dismantled before it can be put into action. In the coming days, you will begin to see clear signs. That person will tell stories that don't make sense, little lies that don't add up. There will be moments when they forget which version of the truth they were telling you. It will be as if a fog has been lifted from your eyes, allowing you to see clearly what has always been there, but which you chose not to see at first. It may be painful. It is very difficult to discover that someone we trusted was being disloyal, but it won't last long. After this revelation, you will feel free as you haven't felt in a long time. You will feel so relieved that you will wonder how you managed to carry this weight without realizing it. You were born with a special light. This energetic frequency attracts people who seek your presence, as well as people who try to extinguish it because it makes them uncomfortable. You have always been a target for those who operate in the shadows, because your natural light exposes the darkness they hide. God, who loves you so much, saw everything you did to feel secure. He saw how you felt inferior so as not to bother others. He saw every tear you shed in silence, thinking that no one cared. And he couldn't bear to see you being manipulated, even though he was someone who should have protected you. That is why this message is urgent. You feel like someone is whispering in your ear. That is why your heart beats faster every time you hear a word. Your spirit recognizes the voice of those who truly love you through this revelation. You have little time to make the right decisions. An opportunity is coming into your life, but the person who has been stealing your energy is trying to prevent you from seeing it. If you wake up and realize that you have all the potential you've ever wanted, you'll see that you no longer need them, and that scares them. Before continuing, write in the comments, "No harm can come to me, for I am protected by the light of the angels." This will connect your energy to the power of the universe and prevent any negative energy from approaching you now. Get ready to discover how this protection will appear in your life. And that's how we realize why things have worked out in the best way possible for you to arrive at this moment. That loved one in heaven not only prayed for you, but also achieved something that almost no one else can. They obtained permission to reveal the danger that lies ahead, as well as the great blessing that awaits you on the other side of this difficulty. You've been feeling exhausted lately, haven't you? You feel like you're carrying an invisible weight? It's as if something is sucking your energy without you realizing where it's coming from. This is not a figment of your imagination or a consequence of everyday stress. This happens when a person feeds off your achievements, joys, and tears. This person has created a dependency on the drama they cause in your life. They need to see you weak, because that's when they feel most powerful. They have observed your emotional patterns like a predator studying its prey. They know exactly what to say to confuse you and the words to use to make you question how you see reality. But they didn't know that there is a timer in the sky that is counting down the time. Everything they have done, all the lies they have told, all the doubts they have planted about your worth, is carefully recorded in the divine archives. Now it's time to settle the score. Over the next 7 days, everything will start to happen in an almost cinematic way. Conversations you will accidentally overhear. Messages that were sent to the wrong person. People who will unwittingly confirm your worst suspicions. It's as if the universe itself is organizing a presentation of evidence to open your eyes, once and for all, to receive this transformative force in your life. Write in the comments now, I am now activating my spiritual protection shield. From this point on, nothing will be the same, because you will discover who is fake and who are the real people that the Creator is sending to replace that negative energy. There is something you need to understand about your spiritual side. We're not born to be normal. You have a mark in the sky that causes certain opportunities, people, and doors to open for you in a way that no one can explain. This has always bothered people who are not very good at what they do. So they always try to convince you that you are not special, that you are exaggerating, that you should have more realistic expectations. But the truth is that you have something called divine favor, and this favor does not happen by chance. It is a spiritual inheritance. This gift was already in your heavenly DNA before you were born into this dimension. Now is the time to stop trying to be someone else and say who you really are. The person who has been trying to extinguish your light knows this. That is why they work tirelessly to keep you small, to keep you dependent on their approval, and to keep you questioning every intuitive impulse you receive. The moment you wake up and realize your true potential, they will no longer have control over your decisions. And that moment is almost here. That is why this revelation is urgent. That is why that beloved soul did everything they could to get this warning to you. There is a specific period of time that is opening up, and if you go through it with this toxic person, they will be able to ruin what is being prepared for you. What is being prepared is much greater than you can imagine. We are talking about a complete shift to what was originally intended. We are talking about money coming in through channels you didn't know about. We are talking about relationships that will heal wounds you have been carrying for years. We are talking about a mental and spiritual clarity that will transform every area of your life. But there is one important detail you must understand. There is a specific process for accessing this change. It doesn't happen automatically just because you deserve it. You have to make courageous decisions, even if they cause some discomfort for a while. You have to tell the truth, even when it seems easier to lie. This phase is not just a passing phase. This is an initiation, a passage to a completely different life. It will have a spiritual impact not only on you, but also on future generations of your family. You are changing things that have remained the same in your family for a long time. The resistance you have felt does not come only from the person we mentioned. It also comes from ancient forces that benefited from maintaining these patterns of limitation. Your decision to wake up is changing spiritual contracts that kept your family blaming themselves and unable to do anything worthwhile. So sometimes it feels like you're fighting something much bigger than what you see, because it is. But here's the amazing part. You're not fighting alone. The person who interceded for you has mobilized an invisible army to support you. Angels have been assigned to your situation, working specifically to break limiting patterns. If this revelation touched your heart, if you felt that this message came at the right time, click "Thank you very much." This way, more people will receive words that save, welcome, and awaken. This gesture strengthens the chain of light and allows these revelations to reach other people who, like you, were about to give up. Now write in the comments, "My energy is sacred and no evil has power over me." This statement shows your courage, faith, and spiritual rebirth. What follows will test your ability to continue believing in your truth, even when everything around you seems to be trying to convince you otherwise. Now is the time to talk about something that few people have the courage to say directly: emotional manipulation that masquerades as love and care. The person in question does not act in an obvious way. They are very good at making you feel guilty for questioning their intentions, altering situations so that you always appear to be the problem, and creating drama that leads you to seek solutions. Two problems they themselves have created. Have you noticed how, after talking to this person, you are confused about things that seemed clear before? How did your inner compass become disoriented? This does not happen by chance. It is a calculated technique. They need to keep you insecure because secure people are difficult to control, but what they did not expect was that the heavens had a strategy to expose this type of manipulation. In the coming days, you will begin to see patterns that you didn't notice before. You will notice that there are conversations that are always the same. Sometimes we have to make an important decision, and suddenly something happens that makes us change our minds. There are people who only show up with problems when we start to feel good about ourselves. And here we realize why that loved one in heaven couldn't remain silent. You saw this happen many times in your life and recognized it in yourself. Perhaps you had a similar experience when you were in this dimension. Perhaps you were victims of the same kind of manipulation. And now, with a broader view, you can clearly see what you cannot yet see because you are too close to the situation. So you specifically asked Archangel Michael to create situations where the truth could not be hidden, where the masks began to slip, where the contradictions became so obvious that even you, who are too generous to believe the worst of people, had to accept reality. This person needs to be the center of attention at all times. Whenever you are happy, they find a way to worry you. When we are sad, they show up not to comfort us, but to take advantage of our vulnerability whenever we achieve something important. There are people who try to diminish our joy with comments that seem friendly but have an undertone of criticism. Have you noticed this? How have you never been able to share a complete victory with this person? How do they always have a but in their reactions? How do they always manage to see the negative side of the good things that happen to us? This is not protection. It is not realism. It is not care. It is envy disguised as prudence. But the universe is about to give you an extraordinary gift. Absolute clarity. Not the gradual clarity you have been trying to build through rational analysis. Instant clarity that cannot be denied. It's like a ray of light that shows you exactly where the obstacles are in a dark room, preventing you from hurting yourself by tripping. This will become clear when something specific happens that is being prepared behind the scenes right now. This is a situation where people will have to choose between supporting their true interests or saying what they really think. They will choose wrong. They are not stupid, but the mask they have worn for so long has become so heavy that they can no longer sustain it. For this revelation to happen in a protected way, so that you can see the truth without being destroyed by it, write in the comments, "Where the light dwells, no shadow remains." This statement creates a barrier around you that allows you to see the truth with enough strength to act on it. It is important to understand that when the truth is revealed, it can be difficult to accept. Your generous heart will try to find reasons to forgive the unforgivable. This is normal. It is human. But it is also dangerous, because there is a difference between forgiving and denying. For forgiveness to be healthy, you must fully acknowledge the reality of the situation, set clear boundaries, and make decisions that protect your well-being. Destructive denial happens when we use our ability to forgive as an excuse to continue putting ourselves in situations that make us feel bad. The person in heaven who interceded for you knows this tendency of yours. They know that you have such a big heart that you sometimes get hurt when you try to fit everyone into it, even when those people don't deserve the special space you give them. That is why they specifically ask that this revelation be accompanied by the strength to act, not just the wisdom to understand. Understanding without acting only brings suffering. And you have suffered enough. You have given them many chances. You have accepted many excuses. You've embraced people who did not embrace you back with the same sincerity. Now is the right time to value yourself in the same way you value others. And here's something that will surprise you. When you get rid of the negative energy and say no to those who have always expected you to say yes, you will not feel guilty as you thought you would. You will feel free like you haven't felt in years. Because there is a difference between being alone and being at peace. You have confused loneliness with isolation, companionship with toxic relationships, and emotional intensity with drama. But true connection is something completely different. It is being with someone who celebrates your victories instead of diminishing them. It's having people in your life who strengthen you instead of weakening you. And those people are coming. They're already on their way. Some may even already be in your life, but you don't see them clearly because you're giving all your emotional energy to people who don't deserve it. It's like trying to see the stars on a cloudy night.
Ow.
The stars are visible, but the clouds prevent you from seeing them. You will be amazed at how much genuine light you will see when you get rid of the negative clouds in your life. Ask yourself how you could have lived so long without noticing the people who really care about you. You will realize that in relationships, quantity has never been more important than quality. Now we come to the hardest part of this revelation, but also the most liberating. You will discover something about yourself that explains why you attract people who want to take advantage of your light and others who want to extinguish it. You have a soul that the ancients called healing. It's not just ordinary empathy. It's a supernatural ability to absorb the pain of others and transform it into something lighter. This is a special gift. But it is also a way of transferring your problems to others instead of solving them. People confide in you and unload their frustrations, fears, and resentments on you out of generosity. You always find a way to process this negative energy without giving it back. But here's what you didn't know. This ability should have limits. You should be more judicious about when to use it and when to save your energy. You've been like an emotional hospital, always open, never turning away patients or charging for treatment. This is slowly killing you. The person who drained your energy discovered this trait of yours and became dependent on it. These individuals create a vicious cycle of drama, confusion, and emotional problems because they know you will show up too. Fix the situation. They like the way you control the chaos they create. And the most disturbing thing is that they started doing it on purpose. What may have once been something you did without thinking is now a strategy you use deliberately. They have studied how you react emotionally and now know exactly how to upset you to get the reaction they want. When you try to walk away, they invent a crisis. Setting boundaries can make other people feel guilty for not being there when you need them most. When we question their behavior, they react aggressively and make us seem insensitive or selfish. It's such a well-played psychological game. We even begin to doubt our own perception. But the loved one in heaven saw this pattern and recognized something terrible. You are being used as a source of energy to feed someone else's emotional laziness. Your light is being used to illuminate the darkness of someone who refuses to do their own inner work. That is why they asked for help immediately. That is why Archangel Michael was sent to cut the energetic cords that are draining your vitality. This revelation can put an end to cycles that you didn't even suspect you were perpetuating. In the coming days, you will begin to feel full of energy. It will be as if someone has unblocked internal channels that have been blocked for years. When you wake up, you will feel more rested and have more patience for the things that really matter. In addition, you will experience a mental clarity that you have not felt in a long time. This will happen because the heavenly protection that has been activated around you not only exposes those who are harming you, but also automatically cuts the energy drains that have been installed in your aura over time. It's like a deep spiritual cleansing that removes not only the toxic person, but also all the energetic residue they left in your vibrational field. Now write in the comments, I am guided, protected, and empowered by the angels of goodness. Angels of goodness. This affirmation shows your connection to the forces of heaven that are working to restore your inner peace and restore your personal power. We begin to understand why this change had to happen now. Something extraordinary is about to happen to you. It is an opportunity you have long awaited. But to take advantage of this opportunity, you need to be at your best, with all your energy. Without letting yourself be affected by people who vibrate at lower levels, the universe does not give certain blessings to people who are surrounded by negative energies. This is not out of cruelty, but to protect you. These blessings are so powerful that they can be corrupted or diverted if they are not received by someone who is completely aligned with their inner truth. Therefore, this energy cleansing is not just about eliminating the negative. It is about preparing the space for the extraordinary. The most important thing is to create the right conditions for miracles to happen in your life without interference. The person who has been draining your energy knows intuitively that this change is coming. That is why you have been experiencing more drama recently. This has caused more confusion, more emotional dependence, and more situations that demand your constant attention. They feel they are losing control and are desperate to reestablish it before you wake up completely. But there is no time left. For them, time has come to an end. The masks have already begun to slip. The truth has already begun to seep through the cracks in the facade they have built. And you, dear one, have already realized that no one can deceive you with manipulation. And if this change has touched you deeply, and you feel you need support so that this light can reach more people who are going through the same thing you went through, click thank you very much. This gesture helps keep this mission alive and allows these revelations to reach other people who, like you, were being affected by people who should have been strengthening you. You have understood that everything you have experienced was not a mere coincidence. Every time you were hurt, every time your energy was taken away, every time you doubted your worth, all of this prepared you for this moment of awakening. You can only know the light when you know the darkness. You had to realize that falsehood only exists to highlight the truth. Now that you know what is going on, no one can deceive you. Your discernment has been honed by experience. Your intuition has been sharpened by pain. Your personal power has been shaped by facing great difficulties. Now, you come to the most important part of this revelation. You will discover what is being taken away from your life, but also what is being added, because heaven never takes anything away without putting something infinitely better in its place. What is on its way will make the suffering of the past seem small. Considering the great change that is about to happen, the person in heaven who prayed for you not only asked for protection, but also asked that you be rewarded for all the energy that was stolen from you, for all the light that was dimmed, and for all the joy that was diminished. They asked that divine justice restore, heal, and uplift, not destroy, and that justice has already begun to be done. You may not have noticed, but lately there have been small synchronized events happening in your life, with interesting people, opportunities that have suddenly appeared, ideas that have popped into your head. These are not coincidences. They are gifts that give us a glimpse of what is to come. The truth is that you were not living to your full potential, like a diamond covered in mud. Your true beauty was hidden under layers of other people's energy, negative expectations, and relationships that blocked you instead of helping you move forward. Now that the mud is being removed, your natural brilliance is emerging in a way that is impossible to ignore. In the coming months, you will see a series of openings that will seem magical. The doors that have been closed for years will open easily. You can count on the help of people who will show up at exactly the right moments. You will receive money through channels you did not expect, but there is one extraordinary detail. All of this was already meant for you. These are not rewards for being a good person or prizes for having suffered. These manifestations show you what has always been yours by divine right, but which could not materialize because your energy was constantly being diverted to drain toxic people. Imagine you have a bank account in heaven, full of blessings to use, but someone stole your password and is using your money to become mediocre. Now that this person has been identified and removed, you have regained full access to your spiritual resources to fully activate this restoration. Write in the comments, "The light that guides me is stronger than any darkness." This statement removes any interference and allows your spiritual heritage to manifest without hindrance. Here we realize why you have always felt like you were born for something greater. Because you were. You have a purpose that will change your life and the lives of those around you. But you couldn't do that while you felt connected to someone who operated on a level of lack and limitation. What is coming will give you a clear vision of your true purpose. This is not something vague or abstract, but specific directions, practical steps, concrete opportunities. It is as if someone has removed a filter from your eyes, allowing you to see things as they really are. A group of people very different from those you know is also coming. People who choose to see the positive side of things instead of worrying about the lack of resources. People who see growth as something positive rather than a threat. People who contribute to your energy rather than drain it. You will be surprised by the difference in the quality of conversations, the depth of connections, and the authenticity of interactions. One of these people could be your future spouse. Someone who understands your sensitivity and also has their own inner light. Finally, you will be able to partner with someone who makes you grow, rather than depending on them emotionally. But before any of these extraordinary people come into your life, it's important to eliminate toxic relationships. This includes having the courage to say no to those who have always expected you to say yes, setting boundaries with those you've become accustomed to living without, and prioritizing your own emotional peace instead of trying to please everyone. This may seem scary at first, especially if you've always thought of yourself as a people pleaser. But here's a liberating truth. Truly caring for someone sometimes means letting them face the consequences of their choices instead of always rescuing them from them. The person who has been draining your energy will never learn to sustain themselves emotionally if you continue to be the crutch that keeps them from falling. By doing so, you not only free yourself, but you also give them the only real chance to grow and develop their own internal resources. And here's something that will surprise you. When you stand up for your truth and honor your own worth as much as you honor others, you won't lose the people who really matter. You will see these people clearly for the first time, because real relationships are not based on a hierarchy of needs, where one person gives and the other receives. Healthy relationships are balanced exchanges where both contribute, receive, and grow through connection. And when you experience this kind of relationship, whether with friends, family, romantic partners, or coworkers, you will realize why you had to stop accepting cheap imitations. You'll realize that you were wasting emotional energy on weak versions of what you really deserve. The change happening in your life, right, now isn't just about solving current problems. It's about shifting you onto a completely different trajectory, where every choice you make from now on will bring you closer to your most fulfilled self. It's rather than keeping you stuck in cycles of sacrifice that don't yield results. We have reached the last part of this revelation, but this marks the beginning of a new phase in your life. Everything you have discovered so far, whether it is about the person who is draining your energy, the heavenly protection that has been activated, or the blessings that are on their way, is just preparation for something even greater that is about to happen. That beloved soul in heaven, who moved all the forces of heaven to get you this message, wants you to know one very specific thing. They are proud. They are proud of your resilience, your ability to continue loving even after you have been hurt, and your determination to seek the truth, even when it was more comfortable to live in illusion. But now they want you to go further and resist. They want you to succeed. They want you to experience a life full of authentic connections and purpose. You'll be amazed at what you are capable of, because there is a difference between surviving and thriving. You have been a master at the art of surviving, but now it is time to learn the art of thriving. This requires a major shift in how you relate to your own worth, needs, and dreams. To completely seal this transition and anchor this new reality in your life, write in the comments, "I am protected by invisible forces working in my favor." This statement creates an energetic connection between your current state and the state you want to achieve in the coming days. You will begin to notice small but important changes in the way people respond to you. Others will look at you differently, and you will receive attention you are not used to. This happens because when we finally value ourselves, we emit a frequency that automatically teaches others how to treat us. You will also discover talents and abilities that were hidden within you. Getting rid of a toxic person has made us feel better and shown us that we have the ability to create our own ideas. Ideas will come to you clearly and strongly, which will be surprising. Solutions to old problems will suddenly appear, and here's something extraordinary. You will begin to attract opportunities that match who you are, not who you thought you had to be to please others. It's as if the universe has finally found your right frequency, can start sending you experiences that are meant for your soul. Some of these opportunities may seem scary because they will require you to expand beyond your comfort zone, which is the identity you have built by taking care of others. But don't forget, you were born to shine, not to hide behind the needs of others. The person in heaven who loves you so much wants you to be very happy. It is not a joy that is conditional on the well-being of others. It is not a joy that you only allow yourself to feel when everyone around you is happy, but a joy that comes directly from recognizing your own worth, your own light, your own connection. With the divine, they want you to have fun without guilt. It's to celebrate your victories without diminishing them, to accept compliments without diverting attention to others. They want you to feel loved for who you are, not for what you do for others. This is happening through people who are already being prepared behind the scenes to enter your life. It is possible that some of these people have already crossed your path for brief moments, but you were unable to pay attention to them because all your emotional energy was occupied with other people. It is as if you had been looking down for so long that you lost sight of the stars shining above your head. Now write in the comments, "My heart is light, and no evil can resist this vibration." This statement eliminates any doubts you may have about the need to accept less than you deserve in any area of your life. That's when we realize that the whole experience of manipulation and energy drainage was part of a bigger plan. Only by knowing falsehood can you develop an internal system of discernment that no future manipulation can fool. To appreciate abundance, you have to go through difficult times. The tears you shed because of that person were like a seed planted. In your wisdom, every time you questioned your worth, you learned an important lesson: the need to build self-esteem that does not depend on the approval of others. Every time someone hurt you because of your generosity, you learned to distinguish between what you should give and what you should keep for yourself. You have graduated from the University of Real Life and now have degrees in how to distinguish between things, how to value yourself, and how to set healthy boundaries. These qualifications cannot be learned from books. They are learned through experience. Now you are more prepared to receive extraordinary blessings than you have ever been. In the coming months, you will understand why it was necessary to go through this whole purification process. You will realize that your relationship problems were not a sign that things were not going to work out, but rather an opportunity to meet amazing people, for this spiritual movement to complete its cycle, for this transformation to remain in your life forever. Write in the comments, "I am invincible when I connect with the light of heaven." This statement shows that you can no longer be manipulated, diminished, or used as a source of energy by people who do not want to do their own inner work. And if this journey has touched you deeply, and you feel gratitude for receiving these revelations when you needed them, consider clicking on the thank you button below this video. This gesture not only supports our mission to spread words of light, but also allows us to reach more people who, like you, need to wake up to this invisible reality. Before we say goodbye, I would like to extend a special invitation. This YouTube channel is not just a channel, it is a spiritual family where people who have gone through similar transformations support each other.
How?
Leave your story in the comments below. Tell us how this message touched you, what you learned from it, and what changes you felt. Sharing your experience is good for you and for others. When you share your story, you give hope to others who are going through difficult times. Your story may give someone else the courage to make the necessary changes in their life. And if you want to be part of this family in a closer way and continue to receive spiritual guidance that comes directly from heart to heart, click on the subscribe button and activate the bell.
Oh.
This is not just an online community. We are like a spiritual family, united by the experience of discovering that we deserve much more than we accepted. Remember, the loved one who interceded for you in heaven did not do so for you to return to your old ways after a few days. They did it so that you could finally take your rightful place, the place of someone who is loved, valued, protected, and destined for an extraordinary life from now on. Whenever you feel like accepting less than you deserve, remember this revelation. Remember that there is a heavenly cheering section that celebrates every time you choose your own happiness, every time you value yourself, every time you let your light shine without apologizing for it. You are not alone on this journey. You never have. Ben, now that you are seeing things in a spiritual way, you will no longer doubt.